Battle of Casergis, Sparta, Pergamon, Macedon, Puntas, Nabatea, Arverni, Massasoy. Baby. Yo, what is up, you sexy ass motherfuckers? Welcome back to yet another Total War Rome 2 Siege battle. Today we're going to be playing a 4v4 amongst friends and enemies alike, all people that we know or people that we've just met, people that watch the stream. If you didn't know, I do stream at twitch.tv/CAPN4IS, so make sure you check me out there. But this battle was a crazy one with a lot of really cool plays. It was very laggy while we were playing, so it took a lot longer than what the replay actually says. This is a 45-minute battle, so make sure you guys grab your snacks, grab your drinks, go jerk off a quick one, go call your grandmother and let her know that you love her, preferably not while you're jerking off a quick one. Do whatever you guys gotta do, and let's get started. I'm gonna put it in slow motion real quick. So yeah, like I said, it's a 4v4. In this battle, we've got me playing as Pergamon as the defending faction. Of course, I'm defending. I always try to defend because I definitely enjoy defending more. We've got Macedon, Swaby, and Massasoy, aka Desert Rome. On the attacking side, we have Arverni, Sparta, Nabatea, and Putang, aka Pontus, my favorite faction of this game. Such a beautiful faction. I know purple is my favorite color, so I guess I would probably like the Praetorian Guard more, but these guys just look sexy as fuck. But again, guys, this is a very, very interesting battle, very, very in-depth, so I hope that you guys enjoy it almost as much as I enjoyed playing it, because let's be honest, I fucking love this game. And I definitely enjoy playing this game every single time. But yeah, just make sure you guys sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. So with Pontus, we do have 4 units of Pontic Peltus, which is a unit I really don't bring. I never use Peltus, and I should definitely use Peltus more. I'm always hesitant to use Peltus. Oh, sorry. And or Slingers. Just because of the fact that I really enjoy the arch of the archers. It really allows me to get a lot more firepower on the enemies. But I really need to start using Peltus and Slingers more often because they can definitely do a lot of damage. But yeah, we've got 4 units of Peltus, units of Celtic Warriors. We've got a lot of units of Pontic Swords, of course. A unit of Bronze Shield Pikemen, and a unit of regular Pikemen. A unit of Mobile Eastern Ballista. These things are not cheap, so let's hope that he gets a decent amount of fire off. And yeah, just a lot of Celtic Swords and Pontic Swordsmen. Arverni bringing a very typical army, bringing a lot of Celtic warriors, a ton of chosen swordsmen, and then an Oathsworn general, as well as a unit of heavy horse, and then 4 units of Gallic hunters. And one of their abilities is that they can hide and be a little pussy, so you guys can't see him right now. With Nabatea, he brought a lot of units of heavy desert spears, which I never use as Nabatea, although I'm not really quite sure why. I don't know if they're a good unit or not, because I always favor the armored desert hoplites more so than the heavy desert spearmen, because those hoplites always end up getting a decent amount of kills and they hold for ages. But of course, the heavy desert spearmen are cheaper, so I'm wondering if they're any good. And of course, they did bring Nabatean heavy archers, very good units of noble swordsmen, and a lot of Nabatean axe warriors, which in my opinion is probably one of the worst units in the game. I absolutely hate the Nabatean axe warrior. Every time that I use it or I see somebody use it, it just does not go well. But we'll see if they can prove me wrong today. So yeah, we'll see what happens. We do have Sparta over here using a unit of immobile Greek giant ballista, a lot of Spartan hoplites, 2 units of heroes of Sparta, 3 units of royal Spartans, and then 3 units of Cretan archers. Oh, sorry guys, I got my phone. I don't know why I have it unmuted. I just finished a very important phone call. That's why I had it unmuted in the first place, just to make sure that I could take it. So I do apologize for the background noise. And then as well, he is bringing multiple units of Puriikai spears. I think that's how you pronounce it. So they're basically just Thera spears. But I think they're a little bit better with their armor. But of course, it's Sparta, so you know they're a little bit better. But yeah, so we got Pontus being played by Yarug, a good buddy of mine. Arverni being played by Nicole, I think. Knackle, something like that. a viewer, somebody that watches both mine and Marketable Skills channel. Of course, we have the great and sexy hippie Jesus, aka Marketable Skills. Make sure you check out his channel at twitch.tv /marketable skills. Also, the link will be down in the description below, as long as I remember. And then we have Nabatea. I think he was. I don't know if Nabatea was being played by Baked Potato or somebody else. I just can't remember for the life of me. But Nabatea being played by somebody else who watches both mine and Marketable Skills stream. And then we have Macedon, which I can't for the life of me remember who's playing as Macedon in this battle. He watches both me and Marketable stream, but I'm completely spacing on names right now. God, look at those thorax swords. The shields just look so beautiful. They did such a good job with this game. We've got Covert playing as Swaby, me playing as Pergamon, and he was a fantastic player, and I love him. He's such a chill dude. He was playing as Masayasili, but I can't remember what his name is right now. If I remember, I'll put it down in the description below. Looking over at the Defender army comps, at our army comp, we do have me bringing a lot of Galatian swords and multiple units of Theros spears, as well as multiple units of Agama spears, a very good, powerful unit, and 4 units of just regular archers. And then I did bring some cavalry as well, which you'll see over here, some very powerful Hippeus lancers. Looking over at Masayasili's army, he did bring 4 units of heavy Numidian skirmishers, some light infantry, a decent amount of desert cohort, and a ton of desert legionaries going in favor of a lot more heavy units and a more fuller army. Macedon bringing a unit of Thessalian cavalry, a very powerful cavalry unit, as well as a lot of thorax swords. Look at these guys, dude. Thorax swords are such a beautiful unit. They're kind of the neutral unit, the balanced unit of all units, but they're so beautiful, and their shields are just sexy. And look at that shield. It looks like a Spartan shield. Just so good. As well as units of Theros spears and militia hoplites, and and then just regular archers, I believe. Swaby bringing a ton of Bloodsworn, a little bit of Berserkers, and then multiple units of Longbow Hunters, as well as, I think that's actually it. I don't know if they brought, I think the General might be a Swordmaster unit. No, the General was a horse unit. As well as, of course, the all-powerful Club Levy. I do have a couple of Club Levy videos, because on my stream, you do have the ability to be able to force me to play as a Club Levy army, so if you guys would be interested in seeing me play as Swaby spam of Club Levy, then just let me know, and we'll be able to, let me know down in the comments below, and we'll be able to make those videos for you. But yeah, again, guys, a very, very interesting battle, a very fun one. It was very laggy whenever we were playing it, so hopefully it's not laggy during this replay, but I'm looking forward to being able to show you this battle. But let me go and click play and let this start going, so hopefully it's not lagging. Oh my god, it is lagging a little bit. It is stuttery. What the fuck? Holy shit. I'm looking over at Streamlabs, because that's Streamlabs OBS. That's what I used to record with as well as stream. And it's showing that I'm not getting any FPS drop or anything right now, but it just looks stuttery. But I think we'll be okay here for a little bit. But yeah, it looks like Pontus. Okay. Okay, let me go and slow it down here for a little bit, because there's a lot that happens in this battle. I definitely know a lot more about what happened on my side than I do on the other side, so we'll go over here real quick. With me, I saw that he was just moving up a couple of units of Pontic swordsmen by themselves without any support, so I decided to sally out with a unit of Theros spears and 2 units of Galatian swords to do as much damage to these Pontic swordsmen as possible, because my units are 350 gold, but if I can catch them while they're trying to push up the towers and get those javies out and really do some real damage to them, then I'll really be able to just kill a lot of them before they get to the walls. So I'm going to go ahead and sally out and do as much damage. But Yari doing a very, very good move, going ahead and dismounting his mercenary Celtic warriors and rushing him over, as well as rushing over multiple other units of mercenary Celtic warriors to support, and his unit of Pontic Peltis. Arverni going to go and ignore the fact that I'm kind of sallying out against his ally, and he's going to go and move his Celtic warriors to help and destroy this wall, so that way they can potentially claim this corner. We were planning on kind of holding the choke points in this corner, but we decided to retreat and just kind of let them destroy it, just because of the fact that they just had so many tortoises go into this area. So we just wanted to kind of let them into this courtyard so we can just kind of pepper them down and just hold them in 2 different choke points. Well, I guess 3, because they also have this unit of tortoise moving up to this wall as well. We thought that Arverni was going to go and attack on this side, but I guess they decided to move back and attack with the rest of their allies. So Masacely now has the opportunity to play more of a supporting role and help us out wherever we might need him the most. So he's going to go ahead and start pulling back all of his troops and setting up towards the middle, so that way he can more quickly kind of set him up towards our forces and reinforce them wherever we might need them. But yeah, it looks like they are beginning to reach the wall. Nabatea looks like they're going to be the first ones to reach the wall. They're going to destroy this wall and start engaging with Macedon. While over here, I am going to go and try to get my units out of here because of the fact that he is sending up those reinforcements. I want to try to stay away from those Chavies if at all possible. So I'm going to try to get my Theros spears out of here so that way I can, of course, use their ammo in a better situation, then try to get my Galatian swords out of here as well. Going back to normal speed, going over to the cavalry, we are starting to circle our cavalry around to the flank of the enemy units just to kind of keep them distracted, keep them guessing, try to make sure that they can't just full out push and just start doing a lot of damage to our units. Just want to keep them on their toes, keep them distracted, and wait for a good opportunity to be able to engage with the enemy. Sparta, again, kind of sitting back and just kind of waiting for that opportunity to be able to support his allies. He can play more of a supporting role because that's kind of what Sparta does, especially attacking, is they just play a lot more of a supporting role. They're really good at holding points and making sure that the defenders can't push back on points where the attackers have already claimed. Oh God, look at that artillery hit. Oof, I'm glad that was just militia hoplites, but that looked like it hurt. Yikes. But yeah, Sparta's just going to sit back, relax, and wait for a good opportunity to be able to engage with our units. But yeah, I did end up actually having to leave a unit of Galatian swords out there because they did get caught with these mercenary Celtic warriors. I'm frantically trying to get my archers to kind of shoot at these Celtic warriors and support my Galatian swords, but just for whatever reason, they refuse to shoot over the wall and shoot into the enemy units, so they're just kind of struggling to move around. I am going to go ahead and move up a unit of Theros spears up onto this wall to hopefully start getting some fire on these mercenary Celtic warriors and support these Galatian swords. But Galatian swords aren't the greatest unit in the world. They're a 350 cost unit, so their morale isn't great. Their morale is 41, or I guess I don't know what their morale is. I think it's in 38 maybe, but because they got a little bit of a rank from the kills they got, they did get a little bit of an extra boost in morale, but it wasn't enough. But I am going to be able to get some good spear throws into this kind of blob of infantry as they're retreating, get a lot of kills on them. Massalia is going to go and move over their slave infantry and light infantry over to help support me against Pontus. We want to really try to hold this wall for as long as possible, and Pontus being all by their lonely lonesome and without any archer support, it's really going to give us that good opportunity to be able to do some great damage against them. But Pontus is going to finally push up onto the walls because we are no longer attacking him, so I'm going to try to quickly push up my swords onto the walls. I'm kind of frantically right-clicking on the wall trying to get these Galatian swords up. For whatever reason, they just refused to go up the wall, but I wanted to get them up before they could engage with my Theros spears because I want Theros spears to be able to continue to pelt the enemy units should they try to send their units over towards the wall and walk up. I want to damage them as much as possible before they can try to engage with us on the wall. But luckily I am able to engage with this Pontic swords with my unit of Galatian swordsmen before they are able to engage with my Theros spear. And I still have my 2 units of archers on the flank being able to shoot at the enemy units here soon as they're trying to attack us on the wall. Masacely did successfully get over here with their slave infantry, and they're still moving up their light infantry to come and help. So that is also really good. We do have a unit of archers from Macedon helping to shoot at the flank of these enemy units as they're engaged with us. I have my unit of Galatian swords here just doing whatever they can to hold back the enemy forces while we're able to shoot from the flanks. And then I'm going to send my Theros spears over to this flank to help and engage with the enemy as well. Moving over to Macedon, wow, I really didn't have time to look over here because I was so focused on micromanaging my own stuff, but holy smokes, Nabatea. Nabatea was just like, fuck it. So, wow, they really just sent all of their Axe Warriors up to the front to engage with Macedon's line of Thorax swords. I honestly did not expect to see that at all. There's just this is beautiful. It's just a swarm of enemy units. It's almost like 300 where Sparta's holding back just all of Persia. And then with just a few units, that's what Macedon is doing right now. He's just using or two units to be able to hold back the entirety of Nabatea. And Nabatea is just trying to use their weight and their pure mass to just push through our forces and push through our lines so that way they can engage and really send us into shambles and do damage to us so that way their allies can have an easier time of taking us out. So that's honestly a beautiful sight to see. Looking over here, we do have our Verni's Gallic Hunters moving up and starting to shoot at our forces, at Macedon's archers, and at my Galatian swords. So I'm going to try to move my Galatian swords and my Theros spears to a better position so that way they can't take as much archer fire from these enemy units. My Galatian swords over here only getting 53 kills and breaking, but that's okay. They did their job. They held back these units of Celtic warriors and stopped them from being able to push forward. And the Macedons got a unit of Theros spears close behind to be able to hold back the enemy and keep them, so make sure they can't push up against us as we're holding back Pontus. Looking back over at Pontus, I do have my archers kind of shooting at the Pontic swords on the wall, at the flank of the Pontic swords and the sides of the Pontic swords on the wall, while my Galatian swords hold them back, and they're just taking heavy losses. I mean, our archers 41 kills already, and they just started shooting 33 kills. Absolutely beautiful. I'm going to go ahead and put it back on normal speed here. So yeah, we've got Misacely kind of pushing up all their troops over to this side to be able to help hold the middle, and help Macedon and Swabian help me over here hold Pontus, because our goal was to see if we could take out Pontus as quickly as possible, because they're so isolated. So if we can take out Pontus, then that's one less faction that we have to worry about, while Macedon and Swaby does a great job at holding. Like, I gotta say, I know it's early on in the battle, but Macedon really did a fantastic job of holding off just so many enemy forces. He had to fight against 3 different enemies, 3 different forces of archers, 3 different forces of melee infantry, etc., etc., and he really did a fantastic job of holding these units. So great job from Macedon. But yeah, looking over at Pontus, I just wanted to see, are they doing it yet? No, they're not doing it yet. Okay, I won't spoil anything. I'm very excited, though, because they did a really fucking cool thing. Sparta, you having used all of their ammo with a giant Greek ballista, only getting 39 kills, surprisingly, because they were trying to shoot into the center, and they got a decent amount of kills originally, like on these militia hoplites and stuff, but we saw that pretty quickly, and we were able to get our units to safety. So yeah, he wasn't able to get too many kills, just because there's so many different buildings here to be able to block that artillery fire. And then we also have another unit of Bloodsport coming over to help us out. But yeah, Pontus doing whatever they can, just continuously sending up units onto this wall to try and push through our units and just try to recapture this wall. But just taking so much damage. I feel so bad for Pontus, because just between the archer support and Misacely and Swaby over here supporting me against Pontus, he's really just taking the dick, so to speak, when it comes to trying and taking this wall. So that way their allies can help push up and start attacking us from different flanks. Over here, we do have Sparta coming in to join the fight against our Theros spears and Galatian swords. They're trying to be able to push through our units and try to take this flank so that way he can support Pontus in their struggle in taking the wall. Sparta is going to go ahead and kind of take the place of Arverni, so that way Arverni can focus more troops and such on attacking these other flanks over here. Arverni is moving up a unit of Chosen Swords to try and push past this unit of Militia Hoplites, which is doing a fantastic job of holding off these enemy units. And I feel bad for these Club Levy. Club Levy can get a ton of kills, but they're just getting absolutely focused down by these mercenary Cretan archers, by these Nabatean heavy archers. Just so much archer fire coming down and just absolutely melting this Club Levy, even retreating 95, 93, 92, 91. Like, they're just taking so much archer fire, but that's what you got to do against Swaby. Swaby can be a very powerful faction and a very powerful threat. But when it comes to archers, if you can shoot at them, they have no armor, so they will take a lot of damage. The Celtic warriors over here were just trying to throw down their Pila over at this Theros spear, so I sent over my archer unit to shoot at the flank of this Celtic warrior and break them, so that way we could try to stop them from throwing that Pila and doing damage against our units. We are going to go ahead and pull back from this area and just kind of set up a little bit of a square formation here, a little bit of a death trap for the enemies, just because we were starting to lose over on this section right here, because they have a lot of units attacking this area. Celtic warriors, Spartan hoplites, yeah, just a lot of Celtic warriors and Spartan hoplites, as well as a lot of Puriaikai, fucking spears, Spartan Theros spears, there we go. they're just kind of sending up a lot of their cheaper units, doing whatever they can to try and push past our defenses, so that way they can attack us from the rear, both over here and over here. They really want to try to get Pontus inside of these walls, so that way they can come and help support in the fight. Pontus is going to go ahead and slow down on their attack, as they've already lost just so many sword infantry. They've taken a lot of losses on these walls. Just look at the mounds of dead bodies here. Like, I feel so bad for them, because all they're doing, they're just taking archer fire, and there's nothing that they can do about it except for just sit there and just take arrows into the back of the head. And I'm just saying, that does not sound like a really fun way to die. So he is going to kind of go ahead and slow down on his attack over here, and start just kind of relaxing until his allies can push in, which is a very smart move by him. You don't want to waste all your infantry if you don't have to. I did miss it. Oh, no, I didn't. Never mind. I'm going to shut the fuck up. This battle was recorded yesterday, so it's still pretty fresh inside of my mind. This chosen swordsman was able to successfully push back that first militia hoplite, but Macedon is setting another unit of militia hoplites to hold back these chosen swordsmen. I mean, they're going to give them a lot of kills, but they're going to hold them back, which is all they need to do. Macedon's still doing a fantastic job of holding back Nabatea, even with all of the archer fire that they're taking. Wow, there's just so many arrows coming into Swaby and Macedon over here. Like, they have 3 different factions worth of arrows coming into their back, and it's just, oh, it's gotta hurt. It really does, but he's still doing a fantastic job of doing whatever he can to hold back the enemy. Going back into normal speed over here, looking back over to our corner, Sparta has decided to start engaging with our forces right here. I am going to go ahead and pull back my Galatian swords before they fully decide to rout and try to save them for later on, because I want to be able to try to make sure that they get as many kills as possible. I mean, for a 350 cost unit, getting 76 kills and still having half of your forces is still fantastic. So if I can really get up that kill count and try to get their money's worth out of it, it would be perfect. But yeah, Macedon is starting to be able to send up their units of desert hoplites to be able to help us hold the central area, because Macedon, even if Macedon is doing a fantastic job of holding off the enemy, they are starting to run out of troops over here. And of course, they do have some reserve troops, but those are the reserve troops. They're for the final battle. So Macedon just kind of sent a lot of troops to be able to initially hold off the enemy, but they won't be able to hold forever. Plus, Macedon is going to come up and really help me, since I am a cheaper faction. My units are kind of a lot cheaper than the other factions playing in this battle. I could hold for a little bit, especially in my spears. My spears could definitely hold for a little bit. But when it comes to actually really doing that damage, I think Macedon definitely has me beat on that with their Desert Legionary and Desert Cohort. Those things are beasts. I mean, with these Desert Legionary, look at it. They're Desert Rome. They have 80 armor. 47 melee attack. Their weapon damage is just beautiful. It's fantastic. It's just amazing. There's just, oh, it's Desert Rome. Like, it's like you're playing Rome without pissing everybody off. But then Swaby over here does have their unit of Bloodsworn, which is a fantastic location for those Bloodsworn, because there's no archers over here to bother them. So they can really just rack up those kills against these hoplites and against these Celtic warriors. Looking back over on the walls, Pontus has kind of lost over on this portion of the wall. We still have that initial unit of Galatian swords just holding the wall here. And my archers on standby, was still with ammo, 113 kills, and still having almost half ammo, which is beautiful for cheap archery. And I believe this archery unit was like 250 gold. So the fact that they have 113 kills and still almost half of their ammo is just insane. But yeah, Pontus is starting to break on the walls, and they're just going to kind of sit back and relax. Arverni did send a lot of their units of Gallic Hunters to be able to help Pontus push back, but soon you guys will be able to see that they're going to kind of fall back from this wall and move into this corner, really help. He's just going to kind of play more of a support role in helping his allies try to push through these various choke points. So this is what I was talking about earlier with Pontus making a really, really smart move. This Eastern Ballista is extremely expensive because they can move it. And so this Eastern Ballista is going to go ahead and move over to this hill and try to get some flanking fire on our guys over here, because there's no wall here protecting them. So they'll really be able to do some heavy, heavy damage to our troops. So very smart play. And he's got 2 units of Cappadocian or Docian cavalry just kind of chilling and waiting waiting to be able to protect them or protect that artillery from any cavalry forces that engage with them. So Pontus is finally breaking from this wall altogether. And then I still got that unit of 80 Galatian swords and 88 Galatian swords on the wall. So overall, killing a lot of Pontic units, but we killed a decent chunk of Pontic swords, but a lot of that was on Celtic warriors as well. Speak of the devil, Marketable just invited me to play Rome 2 right now. That was beautiful. But yeah, so we do have a couple of units of mercenary Celtic warriors. So yeah, we do have Pontus over here just kind of chilling with our mercenary Celtic warriors. Getting just absolutely shot up by our towers. It's absolutely beautiful. So yeah, I mean, as long as we can hold these towers, the towers just can keep shooting at the front of these Celtic warriors. They won't do a terrible amount of damage, but just the fact that they are being able to get us that free damage output against Pontus is just gold, and we wanted to be able to do as much damage against them as we possibly can. Over here, we do have Swaby's Bloodsworn, which was holding for quite a while. I am going to go and switch out with him with my Thera Spears, just because they're too winded. We want to try to make them fresh, even if it's just a unit of 34. That unit can still get a lot of kills, and the fact that if that unit can freshen up and really just become fresh again, they can really increase that kill count by a lot, even with just 34 guys. So we want to make sure that we save them for as long as possible, make sure our units are as fresh as possible too. But looking back over at the center, the enemy has successfully pushed past these choke points right here into the courtyard, but Swavy is doing a fantastic job of setting up that Bloodsworn unit after unit of Bloodsworn to be able to help hold that central area. And Miss Aisley, having those Desert Legionaries close by will definitely help too. But we are starting to break over on this corner here as well. This Thorax Swordsman, again, just getting absolutely peppered by archer fire. These guys just are relentless with that archer fire. It feels so bad for Macedon. They really just kind of became the pincushion for our team this match. So again, many props to them. I'm very glad they were able to do that. So I was looking away over here. So let's slow this down a little bit here. So I was looking away over here, and I was not paying attention to my cav at all. I was so focused on micromanaging over on that wall that I didn't notice that they were moving up a unit of chosen swords and a unit of heavy horse to engage with my Hippeus lancers. But luckily, one of my teammates kind of brought it to my attention, and I was able to retreat both units with, I mean, they did take losses, but at least I was able to retreat them before they died altogether. So as long as I still have units, as long as they're still alive, they can definitely still do damage. So thank you to my teammate for just alerting me to the enemy presence. Moving back over to the central area, Swaby is kind of taking over this point and trying to hold against the Nabatean Axe Warriors. But they're just taking so much archer fire from the Nabateans, and of course them being that super lightly armored faction. Of course, the Club Levy are amazing. They're fantastic. I fucking love the Club Levy. They're overpowered in my opinion. But even then, against archer fire, they really can't do anything because they have no armor, so they're going to take a lot of losses. But they were able to successfully break 2 units of Nabatean Axe Warriors, which doesn't say too much, but of course it does help us in the long run. Moving back over to the central area, Miss Aisley has kind of traded places with me over in the center area, and they've kind of moved up their Desert Legionaries to engage with these heavy Desert Spearmen and units of Pontic Swordsmen. Pontus hasn't quite retreated yet. They've moved in a lot of troops over to this side, but they haven't fully retreated yet. They're still keeping a couple of troops over here to keep us on their toes and make sure that we can't fully retreat from these walls. So very good move by Pontus as well. But yeah, over here, the enemy's doing a fantastic job of really just using numbers to their advantage. The fact that they're all kind of, combining their troops to be able to do as much damage against us as they can is fantastic. You see Arverni, Sparta, Nabatea, and Pontus all working together in this corner to try to do whatever they can to push us back. So a fantastic job by our enemies. And again, over here, Sparta and Nabatea and Arverni all working together to do whatever they can to push back the enemy forces. And Arverni really trying to make sure that we're spread thin, pushing up a unit of, I'm assuming, chosen swordsmen and a spare tower that they had left over to be able to engage with this wall, capture this tower, and force us to fall back because this tower is going to do damage to us. But again, Swaby doing a fantastic job of doing everything in his power to hold back the enemy forces and make sure that they can't push through and can't engage with the flank of our forces. Looking back over on our side as well, Pontus still just kind of chilling. But Pontus moving a lot of units of Mercenary Celtic Warriors and a couple of units of Pontic Swordsmen as well to be able to engage with Masacely. Masacely has a very, very good... has very good units, very heavily armored units with great attack, but ultimately, I mean, like any other good man, they can die. So ultimately, if the enemy just keeps sending forces against them, they will fall eventually, especially with all the archer fire coming in. They may be heavily armored, but if you're getting shot at by, what, 9 battalions of archers, you're not going to be feeling too good. It's like getting smacked in the head by a metallic knife over and over and over again until finally it pierces. It just does not sound like a very fun way to die. You may be wearing a helmet, but even so, a helmet can only take so much before it finally breaks. Looking back over to the central area, Swaby has pushed up a unit of Club Levy to engage with these Chosen Swordsmen on the wall, and a couple of units of Longbow Hunters to be able to shoot at the flank of this Chosen Swordsman on the wall, but the enemy doing a fantastic job of engaging with the Bloodsword on their flanks with that archer fire, while Sparta just kind of holds them off right at the beginning. And Arverni's Chosen Swordsmen are very, very powerful. So Arverni is being very, very good at just selecting various choke points to be able to send them in and really do some damage against our forces. But yeah, looking at the battle, this is crazy. Like, it's so even right now. The balance of power is, of course, a little bit in favor of the attackers, but that's, you know, to be expected. The attackers start off with more money, so they'll always have a slight advantage in almost any siege battle, unless they're playing as really shitty factions. So yeah, right now it's a very even battle, still with very even numbers, and it can definitely be anyone's game right now. So I'm very excited to be able to share with you guys the outcome of this battle. It was definitely crazy. Oh, I'm so excited. But yeah, moving over to this corner, we do kind of have a unit of blood, that unit of Bloodsword going back into the fight because they are fresh again, just to be able to get as many kills as possible. Supporting my unit of Thero Spears against these 2 units of Spartan Hoplites. You do have artillery firing up, so Pontus did move their artillery here, and we didn't realize how clumped up we were, so they were able to get a volley too on our just huge clumping of units, but as soon as we heard the roar of giant rocks flying towards our faces, we were like, oh shit, and then I just kind of just fucking Halo Wars it, select local units, and just started hiding all my units behind the building so that way they couldn't engage with my forces. But yeah, at this moment, it was at this point where we decided to kind of retreat from the center area. We were starting to collapse. We were starting to crumble. So we are deciding to retreat with as many units as possible. I just kind of told Swaby and Masacely, I was like, hey, just grab your units, retreat back down this hallway. We'll start setting up some defensive points over on these choke points here, here, and over here. And then we'll just pull back so we don't crumble all together, and we can definitely get some better defensive positions against the enemy. We aren't going to give up this wall quite yet, though. Also, these Desert Legionaries, even with all the archer fire hitting them, they're still able to get 97 kills. Imagine if they were a full unit. Wow. Just saying, I'm a very, I don't play them too often, but I'm a very big fan of Masacely because, you know, they're Desert Rome. They're beautiful. They look amazing, and it's just, oh, just look at those shields. Like, just like the hieroglyphs and everything else going on their shields and everything. It's just beautiful. It's so cool. I love the look of their faction, too. Of course, I don't love them nearly as much as I love these sexy-ass motherfuckers, Pontus, but still very, very cool. Putting it back on normal mode, we still are. I just went ahead and took down because I saw that Pontus was kind of pulling back from this area. Oh, and I am sending over my cavalry because I saw an opportunity to be able to either kill their general, their pikemen, or their Pontic Peltis. So I'm sending my cavalry over here to be able to utilize this opportunity and try and see it. Because if I can kill the Pontus general and break the Pontus morale, that's what, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 units that we could probably break a lot more easily and really get a much higher advantage on our side, because we got to take whatever advantage we can. So seeing that they did move their Pontic Swordsmen over to defend with their Peltis, I did decide to charge after their general unit with their pikemen, because even if they turn around to engage with one of my Hippeus Lancers, I'll still be able to use my other one to flank around the general unit. So the hope is that I'll be able to do enough damage to be able to kill that general unit. Oh, come on, baby! Boom! Oh, and then they did get their pikes up, but we did get a really good initial charge on them. We got a great initial charge on them, but it just did not do any damage. These Bronze Shield pikemen are just insane. They just do not want to take damage. So this other pikeman unit is going to come in and try to engage with my other unit of Hippeus Lancers, but that was not my goal. I'm going to charge into the side of these Bronze Shield pikemen and just try to do as much damage to these guys as I possibly can and break their formation. And I'm just going to keep cycle charging. Pontus pulling a very, very good move, moving their Pontic Swordsman and the Pontic Peltis over as quickly as possible to do as much damage to my Hippeus Lancers as possible. But yeah, I'm just going to keep kind of stick them in the fight here for a little bit and just try to do whatever I can to kill that Pontic General, because if we can kill that Pontic General, then that'll give us a huge, huge bonus to trying to win the game. I am going to go ahead and turn around one of my Hippeus Lancers and charge into this unit of Pontic Swords. Oh, they just got melted. Just because I didn't want them to be able to get their Javi capabilities off. So I'm just going to keep cycle charging back and forth. But I did see an opportunity over here. Navitia and Pontus kind of left their ranged units out in the open here without any type of support. So I'm going to go ahead and pull off one of my cav because I know I'm not going to be able to win this fight. I'm going to keep one unit in there as a distraction to just be able to try to get some kills. But I'm going to pull off one unit of cavalry to be able to try and circle around and just do a bunch of damage to these archers. Looking back over to this side, they're still trying to break through, but we just keep sending more and more reinforcements. Plus, we have the archer fire support of Macedon's archers firing into this just giant blob of infantry. And Masacely also brought over 2 units of Desert Legionaries to help us hold this wall, so they're not going to be able to break through anytime soon. The enemies haven't quite engaged us in the middle yet. They're still trying to set up and just engage, so right now it's just kind of a huge skirmishing battle here in the center. Looking back over at my cavalry, I am doing whatever I can to charge them in. There's not very many of them left, but cavalry against range should typically be good, right? Well, that's what I thought. And then I realized that Pontic Peltis are a lot better than I expected. And, well, just watch. And my cavalry's gone. They're just melted. There's nothing left. I had, like, 2 guys left, 3 guys left that ended up charging into this Pontic Peltis unit. But yeah, they're just gone. Just got absolutely melted. Couldn't do anything about it. So I was a little bit salty about that. I was kind of hoping that my Hippeus Lancers being 65 gold, I think, would be able to get a lot more kills, but I guess not. So over here, very interesting. So instead of going with your typical strategy of falling back to the center and holding the center and just, you know, grinding down the enemy as much as you can, Masacely brought out his balls, flopped them on the table for everybody to see, and declared his right to push back the enemy. And that's exactly what he's going to do. He's going to move up, two units of Desert Legionaries, a Desert Cohort, and multiple ranged units to pull off enemy forces while they're engaged with our central lines, and just do as much damage to Arverni as he possibly can, because right now Arverni is our biggest threat. Arverni has those chosen swordsmen and still a healthy, fresh unit of a General Oathsworn. So they're very, very dangerous right now. So Masacely is going to go ahead and move up a lot of his forces and engage head on with Arverni. He's not going to let them just kind of take over these streets. He's going to engage with the enemy. So many props to Masacely. That was really cool. They were like the MVP of this game. They were everywhere, supporting us wherever we needed it. And it was just amazing. Going back on a normal speed, moving back over to this corner. We do have Masacely kind of holding off all of these forces still. The enemy is still is starting to fall back some of these forces. They're really just, they're sick and tired of trying to fight for these walls. We have the support of the gates. We have some very, very powerful units that aren't going to break anytime soon, and they're just charging everything that they can into this blob in order to try and push past the enemy. Masacely even is going to go ahead and bring up some heavy Numidian skirmishers in order to engage with the enemy, and Pontus still has some ammo left over, so they are going to go ahead and continue to fire into this blob over here. I'm trying to see if Swaby, I know that Swaby has a couple units. Okay, yeah, these are right. There we go. 2 units of Berserkers that have 3 silver chevrons on them. Just wait. These Berserkers are insane if used correctly, and you will definitely see that later in the battle. Just keep your guys' eyes open. That's all I can say. So over here, Masacely is going to go ahead and start engaging with Arverni. Arverni's going to go ahead and send up a unit of Chosen Swords to engage with Masacely, but that's okay. That's what Masacely is there for. Masacely is going to accidentally move in their unit of heavy, medium skirmishers, but they're going to quickly retreat before they really take any losses and start engaging with those Arverni forces on the flank. And Arverni is going to go ahead and send up another unit of fresh Chosen Swords. But Masacely, seeing that Arverni's kind of just letting him engage with the enemy forces, he's going to start circling around and send up even more reinforcements to engage with the Arverni forces. And just in case Arverni sends over his cavalry, Macedon's got his unit of Thessalian cavalry over in this corner protecting the streets to make sure that make sure that Masacely can't get flanked. So very, very good teamwork by both of my allies. I did kind of fall back to the center point because I thought that we were going to hold this. I didn't expect to continue holding this, but I just looking over here, I was like, we can win this. Nabatea is falling back a ton of their forces. Sparta only has, of course, Sparta has Royal Spartans over here and Heroes of Sparta. And a lot of spears, and Pontus still has the troops, but they're starting to thin out. They're taking a lot of losses, especially with all the archer fire that's going on. And I was like, we can really do some damage over here. So I'm going to go and send up some Agama spears that still have ammo. And then I'm going to go and send up some more Galatian swords to be able to support Masacely. And Masacely is also going to bring up another unit, Desert Cohort. So we might actually be able to win on this corner. I don't know, though, because Pontus is starting to send in a lot of units into the wall, so they're going to be able to do a lot of damage as well. So we'll definitely see. Sparta is trying to kind of make sure that the gate can't continue to shoot at us. But we're going to go ahead and use up as much ammo as we can to be able to stop that from happening to recapture this gate, because we want those archer towers to continue shooting at this just giant blob of enemy forces, because if they can continue shooting at the giant blob, and getting free kills, then that would be fantastic for us. Also, Nabatea is starting to run out of archers, so they are going to go ahead and send up their heavy archers into the front line. They are starting to push past all of Macedon's forces. I do have my general in the back here, the unit of Agama spears, to help hold, but really don't have that much. So we're going to go and send up some more forces onto the front lines to be able to engage with those forces. Masacely does have a unit of Desert Legionaries over here engaging with these Chosen Swords, but they won't be able to hold on forever. And Swaby does have a decent amount of troops in reserve, but I don't know. The enemy still has a ton of troops. I'm very hesitant. But we're going to go ahead and go back into slow motion here, because there's a lot that happens in this part of the battle. So, Masacely is breaking Arverni. Arverni keeps having to send more and more troops while also having to engage with our front line over here to keep us from being able to flank them. Over to the side of Masacely is somehow just chewing through these Celtic warriors and Chosen Swords. They're just getting some good flanks. They got a lot of skirmishers over here able to fire at the enemy forces. He's just doing a fantastic job of singling out these Arverni forces, and Arverni even has to send over Gallic hunters to be able to counteract those ranged units, and even more Chosen Swordsmen. Even Pontus and Sparta's archers, I believe, are out of ammo. Yeah, Sparta's archers are out of ammo, so they're trying to flank around and engage with Masacely's flank, but Swaby sent over their noble riders, the general, and Macedon sent over their unit of Thessalian cavalry, which is a fantastic cavalry unit to be able to hold off all of these units. But yeah, they're really trying to send over, and even Pontus is even sending over their 2 units of elite cavalry. They're just trying to do whatever they can, because Masacely is doing a fantastic job of just getting a ton of kills. Great job on their part. But yeah, their Desert Legionaries and Desert Cohort are going to be able to do a lot of damage. And they're honestly, like, I did not expect this fight to go so well for Masacely, but this fight so far is just going beautifully. Moving back over onto the center. We still got Masacely still holding against these Chosen Swordsmen in the center, and Swaby doing what he can to support him. I do believe Berserkers. Yeah, we have a unit of Berserkers that kind of engage with the enemy forces, but they don't have any type of support, so they're not going to do fantastic over on this side. But they are going to be able to get some kills, and then we're just kind of holding back, making sure that they can't push onto us. But yeah, they're trying to push back a little bit to make sure that those towers can't get nearly as many kills as they were, because those towers really were just racking up kills. Just look at the dead bodies over here. There's been so much fighting, so much struggle for this corner, And, you know, neither side is willing to give up this corner and give up this fight. So it's just a huge bloodbath with more and more units just continuing to push against our forces. Moving back over to this frontal area, we do have Mastodon sending over, having a unit of Theros Spears getting 162 kills, which is fantastic. I've got a newfound respect for Theros Spears because I've never been a huge fan of spear units in general. But like this unit of Theros Spears in this battle really were the, again, I know I've used this a lot, but they were MVPs. They got a lot of kills. They did a fantastic job of holding back the enemy, so that was great. Moving back over here, Masacely is starting to break, but that's okay. Swaby does have a unit of relatively fresh Bloodsworn in the flank, ready to charge in and make sure that our Verni can't push in. And look at this. Even with all of the support that's been sent in, Masacely is still holding, and not just holding, doing a lot of damage against these enemy forces, and he's sending more troops to help and engage with these enemy forces. Another unit of Desert Cohort, 2 other units of Desert Cohort. Our Verni's having to send up his Oathsworn General. He's having to send up everything to this flank. Masacely really just kicking ass, doing such a good job against these enemy forces, getting flanks all over the place, breaking these chosen swordsmen, continuously pushing back the enemy and making it so that way they have to devote a ton of troops and a ton of resources to this flank and away from our front line, so we can really focus down individual units and just get a lot of kills on the enemy. Moving back over to this corner, the enemy is going to begin to engage with our Desert Legionaries again, because I did send up a unit of a Game of Spears to be able to fire down on this unit's of Pontic Swordsmen and Heavy Desert Spearmen, because it's going to be able to get a lot of kills, and that's fine with me, because not only am I going to be able to throw the spears onto their heads, now it's on their flank, so I'm going to be able to get even more kills. And these Game of Spears haven't really seen any action yet, gotten 40 kills, so not terribly great, but still not bad, just from throwing spears into people. Pontus is even sending up a unit of pikemen to be able to help support their struggle and trying to take this corner. But of course, I did send 2 units of a Game of Spears to do whatever I can to help support this struggle as well. I am going to go ahead and retreat a couple of forces to help defend the center, because it looks like they are starting to do some damage over here as well. They've used a lot of their archer fire, or they've devoted a lot of their ranged units over to this corner against Masacely. So I'm going to try and start sending up a unit of Levy Pikemen to be able to support this flank against the enemy unit, because I saw that Swaby had a little gap here, and Swaby is starting to break with their Bloodsworn, or they will start to break here soon, so I'm going to try to send a unit of Levy Pikemen to be able to hold this portion, so even if they do have Javi capabilities, they won't really be able to utilize it against me, because these unit of Bloodsworn are going to be able to hold off the enemy and keep them from being able to push up and utilize their range capabilities against me. Moving back over to this corner, or actually, no, fuck that corner, hold on. Moving back over here, they were successfully able to move past Macedon's cavalry, but not without taking a ton of damage. I don't know how Macedon's cavalry did that much damage, but they held off for just such a long time. And then Swaby is going to go ahead and send up their unit of Noble Riders to be able to try and stop this unit of Cappadocian cavalry from engaging with this Masacely rear. And they are going to successfully hold them off for a little bit, but they do have another unit of cavalry that's going to get sent around here soon. But Masacely is going to use a couple of depleted units that still have Javi capabilities to kind of hold off this area and to try to make sure that there's no enemies that can flank around. But yeah, Masacely, having battled for this cohort, has... Oh, look at the dead. This is just insane. Oh my lord, this has been a crazy portion of the battle. But yeah, Masacely it has successfully pushed back the enemy forces and reclaimed this courtyard under the name of the defenders. So they're going to keep holding. They're going to keep holding for as long as possible. And just kept trying to do as much damage as possible. But look at this. Our Verni used to have so many chosen swords. And here they are. They died. I mean, of course, Masacely took a lot of damage too, but I will take that trade because our Verni was definitely our biggest threat, our biggest challenge, and we wanted to try to make sure that we took them out as early as possible. So Masacely really they're everywhere. They're on both of our flanks, really doing a great job of holding both flanks, and they're just doing so So much damage. Pontus is going to send up a couple of depleted troops, but I do have a unit of Game of Spears up here to be able to hold them off and make sure that they can't take those towers. Because, again, we want those towers to continue putting fire into this blob of Pontic swords. Sorry, guys. Let me get you guys a good view real quick, and let me take a drink of water real quick. Okay. Whew, sorry, guys. This much talking makes me thirsty. All right. But yeah, so they are going to try to continue pushing up on these walls, even moving up a unit of depleted Pontic Peltis to be able to shoot on our heads. But yeah, they are taking a lot of losses given. We are taking a lot of losses too, but neither one of us are willing to give up this corner. Pontus has struggled so much. That spent so much time during this battle trying to take this corner, and they're not going to give it up now. So they're going to continue to devote a lot of resources towards the corner to really just do whatever they can to make sure that they can take this corner and really start engaging with our flanks. The enemy is... so at this point in the battle, I think a little bit earlier, actually, Nabatea ended up having to leave because this battle was extremely laggy and it was lasting just so long. Of course, the battle said that it lasted for, 42 minutes? But because of how laggy it was, it actually ended up lasting for about an hour and 30 minutes to 2 hours. It was terribly laggy. So yeah, he ended up having to leave to go and do homework and actually go to sleep. But yeah, looking back over at Masacely, he is going to start kind of retreating his forces. Swaby almost lost his general, so I'm going to go ahead and use my Game of Spears to go over and try and stop this cavalry from killing Swaby's general, because Swaby still has a lot of forces. If they lose their general, that's another weakness of Swaby, is that some of their forces have very low morale, so if they lose their general, they'll break a lot easier. So I'm going to go ahead and set up a unit of spearmen and have a unit of pikes set up so that way Swaby doesn't lose their general. As well as... Masacely is going to go ahead and set up these units that still have Javi capabilities and do as much damage against these elite cavalry units as well. So yeah, fantastic teamwork by us. I don't mean to brag or anything, but we did do a fantastic job. Looking back over, Masacely is still holding against this Oathsworn general, doing a ton of damage against this Oathsworn general. Usually you see Oathsworn by this point have, 300 kills? They're a very, very powerful unit. But yeah, only having 91 kills. So Masacely is doing a fantastic job against these Oathsworn. And really just, I mean, they don't have a shit ton of kills, but again, they're fighting against very elite units. It's kind of the battle of elites here. And so they're just going to keep trying to do it. So Pontus A is going to go ahead and start moving up a unit of Bronze Shield Pikemen, his general, to support the Arverni forces and try to save as many of them as possible. But they're very slow moving, so it's going to take them a little bit to get there. And Nabatea and Sparta are sending units over as well to try and get those flanks off on my allies' forces as well. And they're just doing a fantastic job of really just trying to cut us off and make sure that we can't retreat fully back to the center. Moving back to the center, of course, nothing too special here. I did successfully get my pikemen over here. Swaby is holding off against the enemy forces, and there's not too many enemy forces over in the center, so we're able to hold them back for quite a while. Moving back over here, they're doing whatever they can to be able to try to push against us. I do have my general unit over here trying to help hold back against these Royal Spartans or Heroes of Sparta, but they're Heroes of Sparta and they're Royal Spartans. They have a lot of kills, and they're a very, very powerful unit. These Royal Spartans having 352 kills. These Heroes of Sparta having 216. I mean, they definitely still have a lot of ammo. So my general unit isn't going to be able to hold off for too long, but of course I need him to hold off for as long as possible. We are going to go ahead and retreat because he does have his unit of pikes over here. But I still have a little bit of archer ammo left, so I'm going to go ahead. Went ahead and sent him over here so that way we could kind of focus down these pikes. And just trying to make sure that we get them off the battlefield, or else they will be able to kill our Desert Legionaries. But yeah, I'm on my last few volleys, but luckily those pikes are breaking because I was afraid that I wouldn't have enough ammo. And I'm going to go ahead and try to get my Game of Spears onto the flanks of these Pontic Peltis. But yeah, it looks like we might be able to win this. I don't know, guys. This is definitely a close one. Pontus definitely still has a couple of units of Pontic Swords. 2 units of Pontic Peltis, so they're going to be able to do a lot of damage to our forces, but we do have the support of the towers, but they do have ranged capabilities. So we'll have to see. My archers actually did finally run out of ammo, so I'm going to go ahead and engage with these Pontic Peltis and just try to help my ally in any way possible. I did retreat my general, and I asked Swaby and Macedon to be able to send some forces up to hold back these enemies, because I do have units. I don't want my general to die, so I have units left over, so I wanted to try to get my general out of there before he died and my morale went down. And this is what I'm talking about. These Berserkers have 57 men left. They have 140 kills. That's not even the start of it. Just wait. These Berserkers are insane. They've taken on like all of these enemy forces by themselves. Chosen Swordsmen, Noble Swords, Spartan Hoplites, they fought it all. And they're just racking up kills. They're going berserk, and so whenever they go berserk, they stay fresh. They break through this unit of Noble Swords, and now they're charging into these Chosen Swordsmen. They're gonna get so many kills against these enemy forces. I did send over a unit of a Game of Spears that was engaged with those cavalry units over to recapture this point, and I'm gonna quickly try to get them to retreat because I didn't want them to get cut off by the rest of the forces. But yeah, the enemy's gonna go and start moving up a lot of the rest of their forces. Periodic Spears, Chosen Swordsmen, Pontus bringing up their Broad Shield Pikemen and Pontus Peltus. Nabatea bringing up their Heavy Archers, but I think they're out of ammo. As well as a unit of nobles. Oh, Axe Warriors that are still alive, surprisingly. God, I hate Axe Warriors. But yeah, Berserkers, 211 kills, 53 guys left. They're just chasing these guys. They don't care. They just want to break the enemy forces. And I didn't notice it, but my pikemen went into some weird-ass formation, and the enemy was going to kind of take advantage of that, so I quickly sent over a unit of archers that was out of ammo to hold back these chosen swords while I got my pikes out of there. I'm going to go ahead and send my general, my Galatian swords over to help and engage with these chosen swordsmen because there's 44 left. So hopefully my forces will be able to kill them. But yeah, guys, it's just coming down like we are super depleted. Masacely has taken a lot of losses, but they've gotten so many kills. They've done such a great job. We were able to kind of defeat the rest of the Pontic forces over here, but just look at the bloodbath that ensued over here. There's so many dead bodies, just so many different shades of colors of clothing. It was just insane. Such a great battle over in that corner. But yeah, it's nowhere clear. It's nowhere near over. Of course, the balance of power is now in our favor slightly, but of course, this is Total War. Anything can happen. These Berserkers have 45 men left, 278 kills, and they're breaking this unit of Noble Swords. They're breaking this unit of Spartan Hoplites. The Spartans had to send in their Royal Spartans, and even then, they're still taking losses against these Berserkers. They have 308 kills, and it's just racking up. It's jumping up so high. Berserkers, if they go Berserk, run, because Berserkers will wreck yo shit. So yeah, we got a unit of... We got a pike battle going on over here. Pontus bringing up their general unit of Bronze Shield Pikemen against my Levy Pikes. They'll definitely be able to win this battle. But Masacely is going to go ahead and utilize these two gaps here and try to get on the flanks of these Bronze Shield Pikemen and really just start doing some damage against them. I am going to go ahead and send up my other unit of pikes over here because our Verney is going to start engaging with my engagement spears and my Levy Pikemen. And I do have the support of Masacely with their Desert Cohort and Desert Legionaries. But yeah, our Verney and Sparta and Nabatea sending over, and Pontus sending over a lot of forces over in this corner, just trying to stretch us as thin as possible and try to break through wherever they can. But yeah, this unit of Bronze Shield Pikes did a fantastic job. I honestly didn't expect them to do so much damage, but they're just melting. Like, my pikes are getting kills, but look how quickly they're getting melted. These Bronze Shield, quality over quantity, guys, sometimes works. Unless you're using Club Levy, I think Club Levy will always win. Changed my mind. But yeah, those Levy Pikes just got absolutely destroyed. So I went ahead and charged up a unit of archers. Of course, they're going to get melted. But I didn't want that unit of Bronze Shield Pikemen to be able to reform. So yeah, Masacely is going to get onto their flanks. But we're just going to keep sending units up onto the front of them to be able to try to make sure that they can't retreat. But yeah, we're trying to kill this general, but even if they are being engaged on the flanks, they're still getting so many kills. 246 kills. Absolutely insane. Moving back over to our Verney, Sparta and our Verney are engaged with my Game of Spears and my pikes. But yeah, charging into the front of pikes, even if they are levy pikemen, isn't necessarily the best idea. You're gonna take a lot of losses. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and try to break Arverni's chosen swords over here, and try to break their Oathsworn. So that way we can hopefully flank around over from these chosen spears over to the flank of these Oathsworn. Because even with 44 men left, those Oathsworn 216 kills. They had 70 guys left, and they had 91 kills before last time we checked up on them. Like, Oathsworn are very, very powerful. And I have spears. They may be a game of spears, not a bad spear unit. Of course, they have 127 kills. But I really want to make sure that I can flank around, so I'm going to go ahead and rush over my unit of Levy Pikemen and my unit of Game and Spears to be able to try and flank these Oathsworn. He's going to try to stop me with these Gallic Hunters, but they're not going to hold me off, be able to hold me off for very long. Pontus over here still holding on to almost 300 kills and finally breaking. It took them so long, but they just got so many kills. And those Berserkers, I think, we'll have to check it at the end of this battle, but I believe they got almost 400 kills, 400 plus kills. It was absolutely insane. I don't know if they got 500, but yeah, so Sparta is going ahead and moving up their units of Royal Spartans over here. They still have 2 units of Royal Spartans, relatively healthy, so they could definitely still win this, and engaging with my Game of Spears. Masacely is going to send over their depleted units of Desert Legionaries over to help and support me, just in case I start breaking. But yeah, no, I'm going to go ahead and just engage them with my Game of Spears. We were able to successfully kill the Arverni General and break Arverni over in this corner, so I'm going to be able to retreat all of these units back over to engage with these Spartans. And then Macedon is about to kill these Heroes of Sparta. Spartans don't break. They're Heroes of Sparta. They don't break. It doesn't, like, even against pikemen, they're just like, no, we'll still fight against them. Don't even worry about it. So yeah, they'll die, but they won't break. They did have a couple of units of archers over here just trying to capture like the towers and distract our units, but Masacely was able to kill them with their very, very depleted units of Desert Cohort, so they're going to go ahead and send it back. But yeah, the battle's just coming down to this, guys. It's just a couple of units of Royal Spartans. Of course, it's not over yet. I've seen Royal Spartans get so many kills. They can definitely turn this around. Plus, they're in a very good position where their backs are protected. We can't flank around them. So yeah, I mean, we just have to keep engaging with them and just doing whatever I can to kind of skirmish them down. At this point, I just kind of control or selected all of my units, and just right-clicked on this general. I'm just like, all right, well, I might as well try to kill this general. Macedon is going to go ahead and send over a depleted or slightly depleted unit of pikemen over to the flank of these Spartans, so people will engage with them. But yeah, we're at the end of the, kind of towards the end of the battle, so I'm going to start, holy shit, alright, I am not going to fast forward, wow. But yeah, at this point, I just kind of told all of my units to engage with these guys. Of course, my pikes are going to get in here too and start engaging with them. But, I mean, they don't have any ranged. I don't think it's considered as pike stack because they don't have any abilities to be able to kind of shoot down the pikes. So I just kind of selected all of my guys and started engaging with these guys. So yeah, we're just going to keep trying to kill these Royal Spartans. He's going to switch out his general unit with the unit on the back because as long as this general unit is alive, their morale is going to be fantastic. These Royal Spartans have a morale of 78. So they're not going to break anytime soon, especially not to some frontal charge from a bunch of spear units and guys with long pointy sticks. You know, we've got long pointy sticks and longer pointy sticks, and that's all we have engaging with these guys against their long pointy sticks. So it's basically just a pointy stick battle. Sparta is going to go and engage with the rest of these Noble Riders and take Swaby out of the game. So it's basically, so Swaby's basically out of the game, but that's okay because, again, we just have a couple of units of Royal Spartans left to try and take out. But like I said, it's anyone's battle. You never know. Like, these Spartans are racking up kills right now. 164 kills, 165 kills, 166. It just keeps on going up. They are Royal Spartans. It doesn't matter if they have pikemen in front of them. They're still going to get a lot of kills. And plus, a lot of our units are extremely depleted. If they can get a mass route, they can definitely win this. They are going to go ahead and start engaging with the flank of these Macedonian pikemen. If they can break those pikes, they can definitely have an even better chance. And yeah, the enemy still, Nabatean archers still had a unit of archers over here, so Masacely went ahead and sent over his 2 units of depleted Desert Cohort and Desert Legionaries to go and engage with his archers just to make sure that they didn't come back again. And he's going to go and start trying to flank around the enemy and doing what he can to be able to make sure that they do break. And Sparta is going to go and get on those pikemen flank. And I'm assuming he'll probably be able to break these pikes because he is on the flank. So yeah, these Royal Spartans are really getting a lot of kills. But yeah, army losses did end up hitting them hard, and even Sparta couldn't withstand just this many forces. But overall, guys, it looks like it's going to be defender victory. It was such a fun and good battle. It was so fun. Those berserkers were absolutely insane. The battle for that corner was so good. And just overall, just a fantastic siege battle. Again, there wasn't any like huge, massive, never seen before plays type of deal, but it was just such a good siege battle around, so close, and just fantastic gameplay from all sides. And the fact that it was buddies too, like a bunch of people that kind of knew each other, played with each other before, it was just great. It was fantastic. Thank you so much to the people that played with me in this battle, both my allies and my enemies. It was very fun. Plus, the battle that we played afterwards, I also saved the replay, so you guys might see that in a future YouTube video as well. But yeah, overall, just such a good and fantastic battle. Just so fun. But yeah, guys, it is going to go ahead and be a defender victory, a costly victory at that. Let us go ahead and end the replay and look at these kills. So with me bringing a lot of cheaper units, of course, Pergamon's specialty is that they have a lot of cheaper units. I was surprised. I was very surprised that I got this many kills. I had the most kills on my team by 9 guys, which is really funny to me. But by only 9 guys, I had the most kills on my team. Not surprisingly, Battleman, that was his name. Damn it. Had 2,450 kills. He was all over the place. He was definitely, in my opinion, the MVP of this battle. Many props to him. He micromanaged the shit out of everything and really did a fantastic job. Covert doing a great job of holding various choke points, and Black Coffee doing a great job, especially during that initial battle. He really just kind of took the arrow fire for us, even throughout it, still getting a decent amount of kills with some of his Thorax swords and his militia hoplites, and some of his archers getting 190, 120 kills. But yeah, his Thero Spears doing a fantastic job. One needed Thorax swords getting 206 kills. His cavalry definitely being the MVP for Masacely. Like just holding off so many enemy forces for him so that way he didn't get killed. Coverts, I want to say those berserkers. His berserkers getting 349 kills, and they were just charging off on their own against multiple units of enemy forces. His general getting 273 kills. Bloodsworn 102, 162, which was great, 127, 130. But yeah, those berserkers were crazy during that battle. His Desert Legionaries, 325 kills, 274 kills, 211 kills, 133 kills, 102, 105, 117, 145, and 206, 170. Like, look at this. Desert Rome is so good. That round of applause. Round of applause for Battleman. I'm just saying, he was such a fantastic player, and I loved playing with this dude. Such a good Rome player. Would highly recommend if you ever have the opportunity to play with this dude, because it is so... That was fun. Very fun battle. Of course, I get over here, I got 181 kills, 79, 88, blah, 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 156, 167, some good kills with those Thero Spears, some decent kills with the Levy Pikemen, 114 kills there. That was the Pikemen that engaged with the elite enemy pikes. My Archer's doing a fantastic job, 100 and, does that say 84 or 64? I think that says 84. 184 kills, 164 kills, 156, 137. Cavalry not doing great. My General getting 202 kills and still having half of his unit left. Looking over at marketable skills, him playing a Sparta 163, 41. Here's a Sparta 252. Royal Spartans getting 354 kills. Just Sparta doing a fantastic job during this battle. Yarug, even with everyone just kind of focusing him down, his artillery 204 kills. Bronze Shield Pikeman 290 kills. Oh my lord. Taylor was an Apetian player, my bad. McCrabble was the Arverni player. Okay. Nabataean Axe Warriors 99 kills, 81. Not bad, because usually when you see Nabataean Axe Warriors, they suck and they don't get much. His Heavy Archers 139 and 180. Not bad at all. McCrabble over here 139, 132, 231, 228, 207. His archers, 196, 207, 228. His general, 223. Just overall, such a fantastic battle. One for the history books, I definitely would say. It was very fun. Thank you again so much to everyone that played this battle. Thank you so much for anyone that watched until the end of this video. I really do appreciate all you guys. If you guys liked the video, or if you didn't like, well, if you guys liked the video, please go ahead and subscribe. It helps me out a lot. Please leave a like. It lets me know that the content that I produce is enjoyable, that you guys really do enjoy it. If you guys don't like the didn't like the battle, if you didn't like the video, please, leave a dislike. Let me know why you didn't like the battle, what I can do better. Better. I'm always looking to improve. But yeah, if you guys also like the battle and you want to see more of my content, make sure you guys go and follow my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/CAPN4IS. I do stream on there currently 3 days a week, so make sure that you guys check that out as well. I would highly appreciate it. But again, guys, thank you so much for watching the video. I really do appreciate it, and I look forward to seeing you guys again soon. Peace, sexy motherfuckers!